Bonsoir, Gulf Coast League, and welcome to the Week 10 installment of the world-famous Doozy Tuesday. Well, friends, it is hard to believe that we are already in the 10th week of the fantasy football season, and it seems like only yesterday that we kicked off the Week 1 Doozy Tuesday show. And although we still have a long way to go, it has already been one hell of a season to say the least. And this week's show appears to be no different. You see, friends, just 5 minutes ago, our old friend Leon showed up out of nowhere in some sort of contraption and insisted that he be allowed to read a prepared statement to everyone involved with a Doozy Tuesday show. So, without further ado, I turn the show over to Leon.
Before I read from the statement that I prepared, I would like to ask the cameraman to widen the lens so that the Gulf Coast League and all of the doozy maniacs all over the world can see the reactions of my two insensitive co-hosts upon hearing what I have to say to them. Okay, that's good. 2 weeks ago, during the Week 8 Halloween edition of the Doozy Tuesday show, I experienced a terrible Halloween costume malfunction, during which time my homemade beer truck Halloween costume mysteriously started up by itself, and despite me pressing the brake with all of my might, proceeded to drive itself off of the stage. By the grace of God, I was, however, able to steer it hard to the right at the very last second, narrowly missing my dear friend T-Paws, sparing his precious life as I crashed over the side of the stage in what at the time I thought would have been my very last moment on this face of the earth. And as I lay there in the wreckage, drifting in and out of conscientiousness, I waited, and I waited, and I waited for my two good friends to come to my rescue. But that moment never came. So I gave in to comatosism and woke up 12 days later in a charity hospital in El Segundo. And all of the nurses say that not one time did anyone come to visit. Not one time did anyone call to check on me. And not one time did anyone send the get well soon card, the flowers, the balloons, the peanut brittle, the stuffed teddy bear. Nothing. Not one damn thing. And then you gonna sit up here and refer to me as your old friend? But that's okay. I'm not one to hold a grudge. You live and you learn. As for me, I'll forever be confined to this wheel wagon, living out the rest of my life, reflecting on what might have been. Oh, Leon, I feel so terrible and ashamed of myself for the way I neglected you in your desperate time of need. Please find mercy in your heart and accept my most humble apologies for abandoning your friendship. Are you kidding me? Skunkles, is you a fool? You mean to tell me that after what you saw with your very own eyes during that Halloween doozy, that you're gonna sit up in here and believe what this fool is saying about how he tried to avoid running over me? And if that ain't crazy enough, you know as well as I do, there wasn't no triple fake humongous behind that hockey mask during last week's doozy. He's talking about he's laid up for 12 days in some silly comatosism, when you know damn good and well the only comatose he's had in the last 12 days when he got drunk and passed out somewhere. I can't believe you done fell for all that made-up sob story mess he throwing at us. I'm terribly disappointed in you, Skunkers. I thought you had better sense than that.
Well, first of all, T-Paws, we don't know for sure who exactly that was behind that hockey mask last week. I mean, it could have been anybody for as far as we know. Who's to say that we didn't jump to conclusions on thinking it was Leon? We never saw his face, and that little head, he did do all of the talking.
Don't say another word, Skunker. I'm completely disgusted and disappointed by all this. And quite frankly, I am appalled at your blatant ignorance of the whole situation.
Oh, hey, is that my good friend T-Pass I hear talking over there? Is that you, T-Pass, little buddy? Or let me get a little closer so I can better to see you with. Hey, you saw the way he took off. Oh, Lord, hell, he done got to us again. And what's worse than that, he done fell off the wagon. Let's end all this before it gets any worse. Goodbye, friends.